All right. We have, what else we got? Okay, so finally we have carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are going to be a source of energy. This is going to be quick energy. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of bounce between into one idea really quick because I want this to be clear in terms of the definition. So let's say we have a fish. Okay, this is one fish. Whenever you have multiple fish congregating or swimming together, do you know what that's called? It's called a school. Okay, and that's going to be multiple, so 2 plus. You cannot have a school without the foundation of the school. So you need fish for this school. Same if, oh, let me add some more room to my writing. Same if you had, let's say, let me zoom in. Let's say you had a bird. Who knew you were going to be in art class? Let's say you have a bird, just one. Bird is one. Singular, all right? Now let's say you have many birds flying together. What do you call that? Into the sunset, okay? They're flying into the sunset. So beautiful, so romantic. All right, what do you call that? It's going to be called a flock, okay? And that's going to consist of multiple. You need birds to create this flock. And vice versa, if you start breaking away parts of the flock, you're going to get individual birds, okay? And if you don't know what any of those are, then let's do one more example. If you have a dog, what's a group of dogs together? Or let's say wolves, or, well, it's wolves, dogs, whatever. If you have one, what's a group of dogs working or living or working together? You get what is called a pack. And that's going to be multiple. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to draw dogs, a pack of dogs, but vice versa. You need dogs to make up a pack, and vice versa. If you pull a pack apart, you're going to get dogs. So there's actually a biology word for that when it comes to specifically to biomolecules, and that's what we call monomer and polymer. Okay, so I'm going to draw my line across, let it follow, let it follow. Okay, and let me zoom out so I can show you the big picture here. Okay, we have our fish, we have our school. These are all similar. Can you guys tell me how these are all similar and how these are similar? Yes, so they're going to be multiple. You need more than one, okay? And that's what poly means. Poly means many. And then mono means one. So when we're talking about biomolecules, we're going to have, let me zoom in, we're going to have biomolecules in their monomer state, and then we have biomolecules as polymers, okay? So going back, let's draw a chart. So we have, let's go back, sorry, monomer, carbs. I'm going to abbreviate carbohydrates to carbs, okay? We have lipids. We have nucleic acids. And then finally, we have proteins. Oops, I'm so sorry, guys. And then finally, we're going to go over where each of these biomolecules are found. Okay. So we have carbs. The monomer of that is glucose. And glucose is a sugar. Okay. It actually looks like this. This is the molecular structure of glucose. Cool. All right, so lipids. The monomer, the individual blocks, is going to be fatty acids. Now, what does that sound like? What does fatty acids sound like? Maybe fat? These are fats, all right? Lipids are fats, okay? Nucleic acid is going to be called nucleotides. Okay. That is the structure of a nucleotide. How does that look when we're looking? Actually, we'll continue on. So we're going to come back to how that makes up the structure of its polymer. So proteins is going to be our amino acids. And there's actually a bunch of different amino acid structure. There's 20, so I'm not gonna, there's a little more than 20, but I'm not gonna get into the structure that. You don't need to know that just yet. I don't think we get to it if you're on level or pre-AP. That might be a AP thing, but we have what we call polymers. Again, it's gonna be many. I'm gonna just abbreviate polymer. So it's gonna, so if we're looking at carbs, I'm so sorry, I'm just going back and forth between this screen. It's because I'm swiping out. So if we put a bunch of sugars together, we're going to get what is called a polysaccharide. So if you get a word that says monosaccharide, just make sure you understand that mono means one. And then if you already know that polysaccharide is a carbohydrate, poly means many, and then saccharides, you can deduce that saying one saccharide, and you know that saccharide is a glucose, you can say, well, monosaccharide is also the monomer of glucose. There's just different ways of saying it, okay? Lipids are fats. When you put them all together, we have triglyceride. Whenever you put a bunch of nucleic acids together, you get DNA or RNA, all right? The actual abbreviation of DNA means deoxyribose nucleic acid. And then for RNA, ribose nucleic acid, okay? The name of the biomolecule is in the abbreviation. This DNA is going to be our genetic material here. Okay. And then finally, we have our proteins, and those are going to be called polypeptides. So again, using that vocab word, many peptides. Okay. And so where do we see all these biomolecules play? All right. Recently, we've been talking about the photosynthesis, and we talk about how we need to eat to produce energy, okay? Plants need to eat to produce energy and to sustain themselves. And a method of doing that is through photosynthesis. They take in sunlight, and as a result, they have glucose. Glucose is energy, and so you're going to find the main job, let me see, of glucose occurring in the chloroplast and in the mitochondria. Lipids, now remember we talked about insulation and long-term energy. So insulating, what does that mean? Does that mean that things are going to be outside? Are you trying to keep things in or out? Lipid, it kind of forms a barrier. And a barrier is synonymous for the cell as the cell membrane. Okay. We have nucleic acids, which you recently just learned is DNA, and inside of a cell, I'm going to draw a cell version of the cell, and there's going to be different organelles in there. Our DNA is going to be found in the nucleus. The nucleus is in charge of reading this DNA and decoding, okay? Finally, we have proteins. Okay, they're mostly going to be found, their role, since they're aiding throughout the cell, is going to be found throughout different parts. So you're going to see it helping in the cell membrane. You're going to see it helping in the mitochondria. You're going to be seeing it help in DNA replication, okay, inside the nucleus. You're going to be seeing it, in addition to that, they're going to be made by our ribosomes. So you'll also see high amounts of proteins around ribosomes. All right. Well, I hope this helps. Here, let me zoom out. Let me show you guys a picture of my beautiful art. Yeah, so we started with the cell with different levels of organization here. We explained what the role of biomolecules are. We were able to give kind of a definition, a soft definition of what monomer and polymer are and how they relate to biomolecules in the sense of what each monomer and polymer are for all the biomolecules, and then as well as where you will find them throughout the cell. So I hope this helps. You guys have a great day, and I will see you guys later.